What does it take for you to make a change in your life? For me, a big push from life. Mr. Contest, Terry. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and most honored guests. I'm going to briefly share with you an experience I had overseas. Then I'm going to explain both why and how I share that experience with the world. And then I'll recap a few of the most important lessons learned from the amazing process. Fall of 2009, all the way through spring and summer of 2010, I found myself in Budapest, Hungary, an Eastern European capital, and a jewel of a city. You'd love it. I went through so many ups and downs, trials and tribulations, it was ridiculous. One moment, due to completely unexpected circumstances, I lost all my money, and I was spending for my life trying to find any job I could, just so I could eat and survive. And then the next moment, a few weeks later, I somehow landed my dream job in downtown Budapest, working for an internet marketing firm and funding my own travel to nearly 50 countries on 4 different continents. When I got home, I was back in my home in Newtown, Connecticut. I knew I went through something incredible and fairly unusual. I had a story in me. I had a book to write. But I delayed, I hesitated, I kept on putting it off until someday. I didn't take action. Time slipped by. That's when it happened. In December of 2012, many of my mother's students at St. Oak Elementary School were shot and killed. As hard as this is to believe, in addition to her students being killed, there were additional students at the school also killed, and faculty and staff all brutally murdered trying to save their children, including my mom's students. It was beyond horrifying. It was beyond a tragedy. There are literally no words I could say right now to describe what happened on that fateful Friday afternoon in December 2012. When I talked to my mom that evening, she told me that by pure chance, she had a doctor's appointment that morning. And she left the school moments, I mean moments, before the shooter arrived, narrowly escaping death. I needed a wake-up call from life, and that really woke me up. Before I go into the rest of my speech, let me just say from the bottom of my heart and soul, I have no idea what the parents of those children are going through, and my heart goes out to all of the victims, their families, loved ones, and relatives, because I truly cannot imagine what they're going through right now. After hearing the news, I was shaking, and I'm not one to shake, so if I'm like nervous, something really bad probably happened. And my roommates wanted to go out that night, but I told them I can't, and I sat in my room for 12 hours straight from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. Not moving, not saying a word, just sitting there like that. I realized something. I realized that my entire life, up until December of 2012, I was living a lie. This was very hard for me to admit, but I realized I had to build up, finally, the courage to share it. The lie that someday is better than today. The lie that I could just put off all my goals and dreams, but I didn't have to take action to do anything today. So I made a change, a real change in my life. I didn't just pay lip service to making a change, I implemented action. I took decisive responsibility for every single thing I wanted to do each day. And for the last 15 months of my life, I wrote my book. I didn't miss a day. I spent mornings, lunch breaks, afternoons, evenings, weekends, whatever I could, writing this book. In less than 2 weeks from right now, with the help of my publisher, I'm going to have a book in bookstores and Barnes & Nobles in the state of Connecticut and other places in the state of Maryland and also Florida. And not to mention the fact, my publisher is going to help me market this in over 250 radio stations. It was not easy. It was not a walk in the park. Let me share with you what I learned from this remarkable process, because it transformed me in ways I never would have imagined. It was such an incredible feeling to get that deal from my publisher, and I had to go through so many rejections. 1, be disciplined. It's so easy to put things off and say, I'll do it tomorrow or someday. Force yourself, train yourself to sit down and work on your goal or dream. Even when you're overwhelmed or tired, or you feel like giving up, just make that small, incremental progress, and I promise you it will pay off in the long term. Number 2, collaborate with others. I am fiercely independent and I tend to do things on my own, but what I learned from writing this book is that people want to hear your story. They want to help you. Go to networking events and connect with mentors who can give you advice, strategies, know-how, and knowledge that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Connect with inspirational people who have walked the path before you and can give you that deep, ingrained, spiritual hunger to get what you want. It's achievable. You can do it. You're sitting here right now, and I know you can do it. Number 3, push past any and all rejection you get no matter what. I went through no, after no, after no, pitching my story to different agents and publishers across the country. I went through 79 rejections, and on the 80th try at a networking event in downtown Baltimore, Maryland, I ended up finding a publisher who was perfect for me, a small one, and we inked a deal. I felt like giving up, but for the first time in my life, I actually believed in myself. I didn't just say I believed in myself, I lived it by going to networking event after networking event 80 times over the course of 15 and a half months. Let me quickly recap for you these principles because they are deceptively simple yet incredibly powerful. 1, be disciplined. Make that effort day in and day out, even if it's only for a little bit of time. It will pay off, I promise. 2, collaborate with others. Get out there. Feel the pleasure of other people giving you that advice and seeing how they want to see you succeed. It's a wonderful feeling. And number 3, recapping the most important point of all, push through any and all rejection you get no matter what, until you gain that victorious, triumphant yes, and emerge a winner in your life, the winner that you are right now. My favorite movie of all time is The Shawshank Redemption, and it's on AMC right now. I didn't plan that. At the end of the movie, the evil warden leaves a note and reads it from Andy. And the note reads, "Salvation lay within." Salvation, my friends, lies within you. Someday is today. Thank you.